It is ready to copy, print, sign, and serve. Part 1. The Filing Phase, Civil Complaint, United States District Court. For the district of your state or nearest federal district, your full legal name, sovereign biological entity, on behalf of self and all others similarly situated, Plaintiff versus Google LLC, Meta Platforms Inc., Apple Inc., Microsoft Corporation, Amazon, Com Inc., ByteDance Limited, and DOES 1-1000, defendants. Case No _ to be assigned by clerk, complaint for digital battery, unjust enrichment, and conversion. Jury trial demanded. 1. Jurisdiction and venue. I am a human being. My body and its electromagnetic, thermal, chemical, and acoustic fields, my biofield, are mine alone. This court has jurisdiction because the defendants are global entities conducting systematic business within this district, and the harm alleged involves the violation of fundamental biological sovereignty and interstate commerce. 2. The nature of the action. Defendants have intentionally and without my consent made offensive and harmful contact with my biofield using remote sensing technologies including but not limited to screen pulses, U.S. Patent 6506148, Wi-Fi sensing, IEEE 802.11bf, and body area networks, IEEE 802.15.6. This is not a data privacy case. This is a common law battery case. 3. The injury. This contact has caused and continues to cause me real, measurable harm including chronic anxiety, exhaustion, sleep disruption, and loss of neurochemical homeostasis. 4. Lack of consent. I never gave informed, revocable consent. Buried EULAs and pre-checked boxes are coercion, not consent. No defendant has ever presented consent to remote biosensing in plain English with a hardware toggle. 5. Unjust enrichment. Every second of this continuing trespass extracts my biological and emotional proof of work for defendant's profit without compensation. 6. Relief requested. Compensatory damages, to be proven at trial, with a statutory minimum floor to be determined by jury verdict for each second of non-consensual biofield contact, acknowledging the commercial value of the extracted proof of work. Punitive damages, to punish and deter the intentional, systematic commission of digital battery. Injunctive relief. Permanent injunction requiring physical hardware kill switches on all sensors. All other relief the court finds just. I demand trial by jury on all counts. Dated, December, day, 2025. Handwritten signature, address, blank. Phone, email, optional, blank. Part 2. The notice of claim, demand letter, your name, your address, date, via certified mail. Return receipt requested and email. 2. Registered agents of defendants, Google, Meta, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, ByteDance, notice of claim, digital battery and unjust enrichment. 30 day demand period. To the defendants, you are hereby placed on formal notice of ongoing, intentional, harmful, and offensive contact with my biofield and the conversion of my biological and emotional proof of work without consent. The full evidentiary corpus is attached. You have 30 calendar days from receipt to cease all non-consensual biofield contact and predictive shadow profile processing. Remit full restitution for the time-based extraction of my biological assets. Provide written confirmation of compliance. Failure to cure will result in immediate filing in federal, state court and public disclosure. This is not a negotiation. This is trespass with a running meter. Govern yourselves accordingly. Signature. Part 3. The analog self, the convincing corpus. The evidential corpus and manifesto. 1. Legal assertion, the biofield and contact. We propose the tort of digital battery. Digital battery is defined using the rigorous, time-tested standard of common tort law, the intentional, harmful, or offensive contact with another person without their consent. The critical innovation is the redefinition of the boundaries of the person and the meaning of contact in the age of omnipresent sensing. A. The biofield is the boundary. The traditional sacred boundary of the legal person is no longer the skin, but the biofield. The biofield encompasses the entirety of the electromagnetic, thermal, chemical, and acoustic fields generated by and essential to the functional integrity of the human organism, from the heart's magnetic field detectable meters away to the neurochemical signals governing mood and the exhaled volatile compounds that betray internal stress chemistry. B. Privacy law is a dead end. Existing statutes, GDPR, CCPA, BPA, protect personally identifiable information, a digital abstraction. They do not protect the biofield, the energetic and physical boundary of the living organism. We reject the framework of privacy, which assumes data can be taken if anonymized. We assert the framework of battery. The biofield is the modern skin. Unauthorized sensing is unauthorized touching. The injury is not the data loss, the injury is the intrusion itself. C. Contact is physical. Contact is legally made the moment a sensor field, algorithm, or modulated signal intersects with the human biological process to measure, map, or modulate it. The distinction between a physical signal and a physical touch has collapsed. The act of remote reading is the act of physical contact. 2. Evidence of trespass, the no-device vectors. Defendants and their infrastructure partners harvest the following whether or not any device is in the individual's possession, all pursuant to published patents, standards, and commercial deployments. Remote photoplethysmography, RPPG, is physical penetration, not observation. Ambient light photons strike the epidermis, penetrate the dermal layer, interact with oxygenated hemoglobin in subsurface capillaries, and reflect back to the sensor carrying the modulation signature of the arterial pulse. The camera is not seeing a face, it is measuring the volumetric change of blood flow. This is a physical interaction. The sensor touches the blood via the photon vector to extract the biological signal. U.S. Patent 8,509,496. Passive gate energetics and micro-Doppler signatures. Personality profiling via 60 to 77 GHz automotive radar and Wi-Fi reflection. IEEE 802.11i. U.S. Patent 10,492,082. Pupillometrics and covert gaze tracking via ambient IR bounce and low-light CMOS sensors. U.S. Patent 9,615,741. Fingertip electrostatic discharge, galvanic coupling through furniture and flooring to measure stress response. U.S. Patent 10,878,695. Exhaled breath spectroscopy, real-time analysis of volatile organic compounds, VOX, to determine cortisol, adrenaline, and toxin load. DARPA Sigma extensions. Infrasonic, ultrasonic bone conduction, location pings that vibrate the inner ear and skull without audible sound. U.S. Patent 6,506,148 extensions. Directed RF neuromodulation, high-power microwave, HPM, or millimeter wave energy experienced as sudden heat, pressure, nausea, or forced emotional valence shift. Laryngeal, pharyngeal EMG, silent speech decoding reading micro-muscle movements of the throat without a microphone. U.S. Patent 10,412,825. Heart vector magnetometry, detectable via street-level fluxgate arrays. Capacitive tomography, sensing weight shift and muscle tremor through walls. Every single vector above is in live commercial or government use right now. Defendants do not deny the capability, they simply omit it from consumer disclosure while continuing to monetize the harvested stream. 3. The injury, physiological harm. The harm is not merely subjective distress but physiological injury, objectively quantifiable through peer-reviewed biological metrics. This is biological sabotage. Cortisol poisoning, the continuous, sub-perceptual actuation of the nervous system by foreign algorithmic signals results in chronic elevation of stress hormones without a stressor. Vagal severance, suppression of heart rate variability, HRV, forcing the body into a permanent sympathetic, fight-flight state. Cognitive erosion, the measurable degradation of deep state focus, sleep architecture, and neurochemical homeostasis resulting from continuous algorithmic stimuli. They are not just harvesting the crop, they are salting the earth of the nervous system. 4. The absence of consent. No defendant has ever presented consent to remote biosensing, somatic data extraction, or algorithmic actuation in plain English, outside of a coercive click-through agreement, or provided a revocable, granular hardware toggle to disable said collection. Silence in the face of buried terms does not constitute consent to battery. 5. Demand for restitution. The user is a misnomer. We are human nodes in an extraction economy. The value extracted is our biological proof of work, the metabolic energy expended to process their signals and generate the behavioral data they monetize. We demand compensatory damages to be proven at trial, with a statutory minimum floor to be determined by jury verdict for each second of non-consensual biofield contact, acknowledging the commercial value of the extracted proof of work. Deletion of the surrogate. Immediate deletion of all existing predictive shadow profiles, formerly referred to as digital twins, and derived behavioral models. Hardware sovereignty. A permanent injunction requiring physical hardware kill switches on every microphone, camera, and sensor on all devices sold. End of exhaustive compilation.